Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on social media. There are links in the description below. If this is all a joke, you can tell me. Like, really, like, please, just inform me. If this is some kind of a terrible fever dream that won't end, inform me. You know, like give me like a little signal. Write me a comment. Like, let me know that what I'm experiencing just isn't real. Because I think the last like month or so, rather, I know, has kind of been a lot for me. I want to know exactly why Bitcoin is still under $500,000 per coin. If you haven't seen any of the last 10 to 15 videos, I'll even give you a good 30 videos. This video might seem completely confusing to you. The amount of news that we've had surrounding Bitcoin and crypto has been really, really weird. The news we used to get years ago, somebody was thinking about potentially giving rules and regulations for crypto. Somebody filed for a Bitcoin ETF. The price went up. It got rejected. The market would react normally. That was as far as our news went. A new crypto exchange popped up. They're offering $15 to anyone who signs up. This crypto exchange collapsed, but all the money that they got is going back to the people who it's owed to. Watch out, guys. Remember Mt. Gox from 9,000 years ago? They're paying people back. Some analysts say to be scared. That's as far as that really. That's as far as we got in the news. And even then, multiple days, we'd still have prices like just performing really well. We don't really get a lot of bad news per se within crypto. I feel like the bad news does more to moving prices than any good news ever could. I don't believe that this is real. I refuse to believe that this news was released, that human beings talked about this collectively together. I refuse to believe that after people spoke about this, that this moved on to the next step. I refuse to believe that after the next step took place and this news entered the cryptocurrency market, that people just didn't care, didn't buy any Bitcoin, and that the prices went down. When I got into the space, there was a lot of hope, energy around the idea of what Bitcoin could or would be used for. A large portion of that hinged on the idea of Bitcoin being used as a currency or digital gold. That was kind of really as far as we got narrative-wise. Used as a currency became more of a thing with the Lightning Network, instantaneous Bitcoin transactions. We have all these people and analysts and yada yada talking about Bitcoin being used that way, but no one, at least out loud, seems to be hyper developing the Lightning Network or putting money into it, because I feel like it would take no more than 6 months to have the thing. Like, I know that some apps are using it, but as far as like everyone using it, I feel like that should have been a thing years ago at this point. The idea of Bitcoin being digital gold, huge narrative. Governments and companies and corporations buy up Bitcoin and create a treasury for it a strategic reserve for it, or you just gobble up as much Bitcoin as you can in the expectation that in the future, you as a government are going to use said Bitcoin to be the base for your new fiat currency. We can only print this much because we have this much Bitcoin. That kind of thing. I refuse to believe that this was a topic. A discussion is probably going to happen, and people within crypto ignored it, and prices didn't move. Changpeng Zhao, who is the former CEO of Binance, came out and said 0.1 Bitcoin, that is a tenth of a Bitcoin. A tenth of a Bitcoin may soon be worth more than a home in the United States. For clarity, the average price of a home within the United States is around $300,000 to $400,000 on the normal end. This is a Midwestern, potentially other place, suburban, not city center, single family home. Average $300,000 to $400,000. By declaring that 0.1 Bitcoin may soon be worth more than a single family home within the United States, this man is declaring, just wait because it gets crazier. This man is declaring that Bitcoin's price will soon be at $3 million to $4 million a coin. Did you get it? Because he said a tenth of a Bitcoin. Therefore, we can mathematically ascertain that Bitcoin has to be at $4 million for a tenth of it to be $400,000. Can any of you guess why this man said those words, gave that information out in some form or capacity? Remember the narratives? Digital gold and being used as a currency. And the thing that people used to say years ago, you can use your Bitcoin to buy a cup of coffee. You'll be able to go to the store and buy a cup of coffee with your Bitcoin. That was the magic of the Lightning Network. Changpeng Zhao was responding to a post by William J. Pulta, or Pulte, I don't know and I don't care, director at the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency, or the FHFA. Why is Bitcoin not over $500,000 at this point? I told you in the beginning of the video, if this is a joke, if you guys are releasing news just to make sure that I have a conniption or that I'm just not doing well mentally, I would love for you to let me know. Changpeng Zhao was responding to a post by William J. Pult, director at the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency, who revealed that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, yeah, I'm sure some of you know them, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have prepared proposals to allow Bitcoin to be able to get mortgages for property. I'm going to repeat that. I wish I could say it in Japanese just so everyone could understand. What I'm not getting is why Bitcoin's price isn't higher. You can lie to yourself as many times as you want. And you can say futures and this is happening. I don't give a flying flamingo what you have to say. The news that we keep getting every day is spectacularly, ridiculously, incredibly amazing for the future of crypto. I can understand that people outside of the market might not give a hoot as to what this news is. but people within crypto, you should all be screaming at the top of your lungs. All the companies and remember I said before, something's up. This I think is 1% of what's actually happening. What the heck is going on that we're not higher in price? We have never, ever had news like this before. I don't care if you are the most bearish person on the planet. The news that we get every 24 hours about a company announcing we're raising 100 million US dollars to buy up a digital currency should set the market off. A company announcing we're raising $1 billion to buy Bitcoin should send us into the stratosphere if we heard about it once. Every 24 hours, we're hearing the same freaking news over and over. Changpeng Zhao responded to a post from the head of the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency discussing that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have instituted a proposal to allow crypto into mortgage qualifications to buy a home within the United States of America. The proposal is to allow borrowers to use Bitcoin holdings as proof of financial reserves. This was formerly only limited to fiat-based assets, as well as savings accounts, investment accounts, or retirement funds. You're going to sit here and lie to me and tell me that Bitcoin's price... No, what's the answer? Why is Bitcoin's price this low? I need an answer, and I know that no one can give it to me because we've been going through this for years. Even when Bitcoin first hit 70,000, remember all the analysts from years ago who were like Bitcoin based off of market metrics. The people buying, the lack of people selling, the institutions in 2021 getting into the space. These people said Bitcoin should be at $250,000 US in 2021. You want to sit there and lie to yourself and say that something's not weird right now. That all these companies, all these institutions, remember the universities, the governments using and buying Bitcoin and mining Bitcoin, based off of the news that two of the largest loaners, debt companies on the planet have initiated a proposal to use Bitcoin for mortgages. What's happening? What is actually going on? Even the purchases, and you can't say it's people selling because MicroStrategy keeps buying over $1 billion plus worth of Bitcoin every week. You can't say it's people selling because we just had news that 30% of all Bitcoin that was left on exchanges has left exchanges in the last year. You can't say it's people selling because the amount of Bitcoin OTC on markets has also collapsed as well. What in the world is going on? Well, in the future, People are going to be able to use Bitcoin to buy properties and also use it for their mortgages within the United States. I don't know how to end this. I don't know what else to say. I'm so lost in so many ways. Nothing is making sense at all. I still don't understand how all of this can happen. Bitcoin's price isn't above 200, 300,000, and how people can defend it. I honestly don't know. Well, I do hope you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.